So a man walks up to a high school football game, legally licensed to carry, and a K9 smells his gun. And before he even gets inside, he's charged with a crime. Let's talk about what that really means for every law-abiding gun owner. So Record North Shore reports that local authorities arrested and charged an armed Highwood man who was prevented from entering a Highland Park High School football game with a concealed carry firearm, according to city and school officials. So he was stopped before he even entered. There was no threat, there was no incident. Still, he got a criminal charge. And that's what a gun-free zone looks like in real life. It goes on to say he was charged with violation of a concealed carry license, a misdemeanor, for allegedly bringing the firearm onto school property. He was released and given a November court date. Translation, you can have the permit, the training, the background check, and you're still treated like a criminal for crossing an imaginary property line. The report goes on to say that private security personnel from D113's Highland Park K9 weapons detection team alerted police after identifying an individual carrying a concealed firearm while approaching the entrance. That's kind of the new reality here. I know this has been able to happen before, but it's not just metal detectors anymore. Now dogs can smell your gun. So the old concealed is concealed rule, not so much. Now, the district reported that the individual who is a licensed concealed carry permit holder admitted to District 113 security personnel and local law enforcement that he was carrying a firearm. He was honest, he complied, and for that honesty, he caught charges. That's what we call punishing the people who play by the rules. Look, I'm not saying ignore the law. I'm saying understand how easily it turns law-abiding people into targets and why you need to plan for when the law forces you to disarm. This whole situation is a perfect example of why I don't like gun-free zones. They don't stop bad guys. They just punish good ones. Let's go back to the facts. It says, Illinois' law is clear. Firearms are strictly prohibited on school grounds, regardless of concealed carry status. And that's the problem. The law is clear, but clarity doesn't equal logic. Criminals don't care about rules. All these signs do is keep the responsible people from being armed when they might actually need to be. Now, that K9 team, they're just doing their job, I get it. But look at what this creates. A guy with a valid license, no criminal record, no malicious intent, and now he's got a court date and possibly loses his carry permit. Meanwhile, the same criminal who'd bring a gun illegally in the first place would be right back doing the same shit tomorrow because he doesn't care about a misdemeanor on his record. And then people ask, why are you so against gun-free zones? Because they create a false sense of safety and a real sense of vulnerability. If you're a concealed carrier today, you have to navigate this maze of, can I carry here or not? And sometimes you only find out after a dog sniffs you down. So what do? You disarm, which means you need a secure place to store your gun in your car. And here's where the irony kicks in. In one breath, they say, you can't bring your gun inside. So fine, you go back and you lock it in your car. But now, if your car gets broken into and that gun is stolen, you're the one to blame. They create the exact problem they lecture us about and then turn around and say, see, gun owners are irresponsible. That's the cycle. You make it harder to carry, then blame us when a criminal exploits the situation you forced us into. It's situations like this that's actually what pushed me to come up with my Colion Noir edition Vaultek Lifepod. This is the 2.0. There's even a smaller size for this one as well. Largely, I just got tired of watching responsible people get stuck between following the law and protecting themselves. I wanted something that was lightweight but durable. Something that lets you keep your firearm secure when the law says you can't have it with you. You can take this Lifepod and run a steel cable under your seat or through a frame point. Lock it down, drop your gun inside. That way, if you get to a gun-free zone and you have to disarm, at least you've got a real peace of mind. And I'm not just saying that hypothetically, I've literally lived it. I had a valet break-in situation a while back. It was one of those inside jobs where the guy had all the time in the world to look through my vehicle and steal what he wanted to steal. But at the time, I had my SBR in this, which is basically just a kind of bigger version of the Lifepod. This is the Vaultek XT. And so I was able to keep my SBR in here, which is the larger version. And I had this tethered to my car and he couldn't get to it. Now, I'm not saying this thing is bulletproof or indestructible, nothing is, but it did prevent the quick smash and grab. And in this case, he had way more time than a smash and grab and he wasn't able to get to the gun. And I don't fault anyone who leaves a firearm in their car. You locked your door and you did what any reasonable person would do. If a criminal still breaks in, that's on them, not you. But for those of us who want that extra layer of protection, something between the glove box and Fort Knox, that's what this case is for. It was really honestly built to make traveling with your firearm a lot easier, but it doubles as one of the most practical tools for safely storing your gun when you're forced to leave it behind in your car. So if you're interested in this Lifepod here or even the XT, I'm gonna put a link in the description section of this video so that you can go ahead and check those out. Now, gun-free zones, we've been saying it for decades, they just don't make us safer. They make us dependent. They make us dependent on a system that can punish you for being prepared and then blame you when a criminal steals what you had to leave behind. If they won't let you protect yourself inside, at least make sure your gun is protected outside, because being a responsible gun owner shouldn't mean you get punished for doing the right thing. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.